Let's start with the fact that Photoshop has free tools for cutting out objects, and each tool has several variations of that tool, but I usually use literally 2 or 3 of them. And in this video I am going to show you how I cut out objects in Photoshop, whether it's some simple object or for example a photo of person. I've chosen a photo like this, and the first tool that I'm going to use is a pen. I'm going to choose a pen like this, you don't need the ones shown below, and I'm going to start tracing the outline of the character. I put the first point and the second point without letting go. Move the mouse as I want, and that's how I outline the whole character. There is no need to hurry, try to do it carefully. Over time you'll understand how it works and you'll do it much faster. If you want to remove the rounding and make a right angle, just click on the point you want with the Alt-K pressed and you'll have something like this. You can also add a new point anywhere by just left clicking where you want it. In fact, you can just crop the bird because in this picture it's very small and blends into the background. You can just finish it later or remove it altogether because it's not that important on the thumbnail. Once we have closed the outline, right click and select make selection. Here you can put one and then click OK. Next we need to select the quick selection tool, Hotkey W, and click select and mask. Here it all depends on the quality of the photo. The better the quality, the better the result. On the right side we have some sliders that can be used to blur the outline a bit or make it more contrasty. In general, move them back and forth and see what they do. Save and you're done. The second tool I'm going to show you now is the quick selection tool. I use this tool quite often, even more often than I use the pen tool. You select the tool, click on the character and you're done. Yes, it's not perfect, but it's very fast, much faster than the pen. Then I take the lasso and hold down shift and select what I need, and where the selection goes over the edge with the Alt key pressed, I remove it. I press W and go to select and mask to refine the selection a bit. Another way to cut out object is quick selection. This is also pretty handy and quick way to separate object from the background. Grab the tool and go over the character. By holding down the Alt key, you can deselect where the selection is gonna pass the edges. After I've selected the character, I also go into select and mask and go through the hair or wherever it's needed. Then I move those sliders around. As you can see, this looks pretty good too. Here is another photo. For example, I select the same quick selection tool, click on the character, then select the lasso tool and fix the places where the selection failed. Then go to select and mask and refine the selection in the same way. Lasso is a very handy tool. At first I didn't use it either because it seemed useless to me, but as it turns out it's not. I take a picture like this, choose Polygonal lasso and I start tracing. The corners can be rounded just as easily, never mind that it looks bad now. Well, rounded all the corners in the future. Perhaps the only downside to this method is that you can't go backward. You'll have to start all over again like I'm doing now, but in the future you will get used to it and we'll do it with minimal mistakes. I close the outline and go to select and mask, and as you can see everything looks perfect, so don't be afraid to use this tool more often. If you need to select a round object and quick selection doesn't always work, you can use a tool like ellipse. I create a circle, reduce its opacity so that the coin is visible and adjust the size of the ellipse to the size of the coin. Place it under the photo and fix it with the clipping mask, and don't forget to revert the opacity. These are all the basic tools I use to separate objects objects from the background. When the object is complex and a quick selection is not enough, I use a pen. When a quick selection and a lasso are enough for me, I use those tools. But I think it's important to know how to use all the tools. I can quickly curve an object with the pen because I worked a lot with that tool, although the pen is probably the most time-consuming way, but it is still the highest quality. So practice each tool so that you are ready to use it at the right moment.